Hello everyone, Unknown Reefer here, bringing you a review for a critter this time. Now we're going to talk today about conches, which as you can see I've got one here, and I've got one over the back there. So conches are basically like a snail. They've got quite big shells, and they've got these funky googly eyes that stick out as well. They've got a trunk that comes out, and they don't really climb up the glass from what I've experienced or move around the rockwork that much. They tend to stick to the sandbed. They will hoover up bits off the sandbed, and they might even bury themselves in the sand. They've got like this big claw thing that they move on, and when they bring that out, they just sort of hook it and then move themselves along the sandbed. They can seem to self-right as well using that, as I've never found any on their backs, whereas some of the snails, trochus snails, things like that, can fall on their backs and die just because they're snails and they love dying. They're quite cool little characters when you see their googly eyes moving around and their trunks going. Zoom in on the back there. And they've just got a different sort of shape of shell as well. Really peaceful, don't bother anything, but as this bastard of a hermit crab is showing, they can sometimes get harassed by hermit crabs, same as snails. Sometimes it seems to be the bigger crabs will try to sort of steal the shells and kill the conches off, but I've had these in here probably a couple of months, and although you get the odd crab sort of looking at it, quite often they'll end up leaving it alone. I think the reason for that, in at least my tank, is that I try and keep my tank pretty well fed, so the crabs don't really go hungry, and because I've actually got quite a few sort of shells dotted around the tank that if the crabs decide they want to change shell, there's an empty shell there waiting for them, so they don't then have to try and hunt anything down to get the shell. But yeah, I really like them. I quite like a few critters in my tank. I've got a few various shrimps and snails and those conches, and I've got a giant snail thing that I don't know what it's called or where it's gone at the moment. But they're quite good. They don't really have much bioload, so you can put them in small tanks or large tanks and not worry too much about effects on your filtration. But they're just a bit more of a character than your standard snail. So, hopefully that helps if anybody's thinking about getting one. Comment down below if you've got any questions.